This is C&T Talking Tigers, where talking Auburn football is what we do. Welcome to the Tiger Den. And I got that swag, yes sir. That swag, yes sir. That swag, yes sir. And watch this, get that. Hey, you already know what it is. It's C&T Talking Tigers. Woo! If you don't know by now, hey, you don't know by now. I don't know what rock you've been living under, but we are excited because our team, as we predicted on last week, went and handled business last week against the Ole Miss Rebels. But hey, we're going to get into that. I'm Courtney Chandler, joined by my man, Toney Milford. We are C&T Talking Tigers. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure you do one thing. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, C&T Talking Tigers, and also follow us on social media, C&T Talking Tigers. Toney, this was a great win, and I have to give you credit. You called the score for this game last week. So shout out to you for calling it right.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I felt it in my spirit that, I figured we would win. I knew we could win. We were very capable of winning. And I thought coming off, coming off a bye that we would be prepared. I believed in Harsin. I believed in Mason. And they didn't let me down. I said 31-21 Auburn. As we all know, it was 31-20. Couldn't have been, much closer without hitting the nail on the head directly. I'm glad I was right. Didn't want to be wrong, and it was good. I was glad I was right about the win. Period. Getting the score right, that's just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? That's just shows my acumen for these type things. You know what I mean? I might know what I be talking about a little bit. But, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we here again. Like I said, it's always a blessing to do these shows after a win. And here lately, it seems like we're getting a lot of wins piling up here, man. You know what I'm saying? We got that Georgia loss out the way, which both of us thought would happen. The Penn State loss, I really didn't see it coming. I mean, I knew it could have happened. You saw it before the season. But, it is what it is. But now here we are. What are we, 6-2, 7-2?
6-2.
6-2, one loss in the conference, not in the division, so we're still wide open. If we just handle our business, we'll be in Atlanta representing the West of the SEC. Get our head beat in against Georgia one more time, which ain't no shame in that, because as you can see, they beat the hell out of everybody.
Yes, God.
They do not discriminate. They beat the hell out of everybody. But that's neither here nor there. What we're here to do right now is gloat a little bit about this win against a top 10 opponent, you know what I'm saying, at home, beat a top 10 team. Brian Hart just keeps checking off boxes, man, in his first year at Auburn. He just keeps checking off boxes. Road win at LSU, check. Top 10 victory, check. I mean, now we gotta go to A&M and handle these boys, which we are the road team, which is a good thing for us because the road team usually wins in this game anyway.
Yes.
So
you
know what I'm saying.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna
get to that, but we're gonna talk about this game last Saturday, man. Saturday night before Halloween. A lot of people out. I had buddies up there tailgating. Auburn was on go. Auburn was on go. Crowd was rocking. Tailgaters was everywhere. And we did a really good job against Ole Miss, man. A very potent offense that puts up numbers in droves. We held those guys to 20 points. We knocked Matt Carroll around. We made him turn the ball over one time, which he rarely does. He only had one interception going into that game. We held him in check as far as running the ball. He was their lead rusher. They had a three-headed monster of guys who usually get over 50 yards. We kind of held that in check. We did a good job. Their big-time receiver didn't hurt us, but they had a guy come out of nowhere who hadn't done nothing all season, had a career night against us, but that's okay. When you don't game plan for him, they come in and make some unexpected plays. But I was proud of our defense, man. I think we sacked those guys. I think we might have got 3 sacks on the night.
Yep,
3
sacks.
Corral one time, sacked Littmeyer twice. We held them for 6 for 15 on third down. That was big. We was getting them off the field. At one point, I think they were those third downs. We had got them off the field maybe 4 or 5 straight third downs. They was open.
And we're getting them off the field for fourth down too.
And then they was 1 for 4 on fourth down. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? It was basically 7 for 19 on big down conversions, third and fourth. So we did a great job. We held them to 157 yards rushing.
Yes.
Which was huge.
Huge.
They averaged about 265.
Yes. Very
so
huge.
The run defense came to play. And I was extremely excited. I was very happy to see the effort and put in by the defense. Can't clap for those guys enough.
Woo!
To hold that Ole Miss team to 20 points is amazing. That was a great job. Shout out to Derek Mason. Shout out to all the coaches, to the coaching staff on defense, and shout out to them boys who made the plays. Offensively, we look good too. Kobe Hudson had a great game. You know what I'm saying? He made some plays that he hadn't made so far this season.
Right.
Bo has really come into his own. He's really started selling to this quarterback position. After the LSU game, like I said, he just ran around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Right.
He did a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Little Manziel night.
I remember saying that Arkansas game was what I think Auburn is going to look like. I remember saying that. That's how I think Harsin and Bobo want the offense to look. Both throw it about 32 times, but we make sure we run it more than we throw it, and we're not Bo dependent. And once again, the numbers were at 22 of 30, 73%. I always tell you, a great college quarterback is pushing that 68 to 70% range with his completions. Bo was at 73%. He threw 1 touchdown. He ran for 2 more. That was huge. Tank, I remember talking about Tank coming out and setting the tone against Ole Miss's defense. Tank had 23 for 140 and a score.
Right.
So he brought his hard hat. I remember telling you, I don't know if everybody remember, but the last couple of weeks I keep saying we will go as the offensive line
in the run game.
As long as the offensive line and Bo is under control, we'll win. And the last few weeks, the offensive line has done a great job opening holes on the ground and protecting Bo. Bo has been very accurate with the ball, hadn't turned it over. And man, the proof is in the pudding.
Right. This was a great win. The team, I'm so proud of everybody on this team. Bo, as you said, he really stepped up. His percentage, you said 22 or 30. That percentage, completion percentage, keep going up. It was early in the year in the 50s. Now we looking at the 60s. He's 62% right now, which is great. I'm like you. If we can get him between 65 to 68 completion over there, close to that 70.
That'll be big. That'll be huge.
That'll be huge
for our offense.
Yeah, Tank, awesome game. We had heard, all week long that he had been practicing hard, coming out hard, and he showed it in that game, that Ole Miss game. And this all around, just a great game. And like you said, the defense held tight. We only allowed Ole Miss to get 20 points, 3 in the second half, and then holding them to under 200 rushing yards. I mean, that's awesome. So kudos to you all
for the defense.
Incredible,
definitely, bro.
Incredible effort. And that's just, we called it last week. We didn't know how it was going to happen, but I think I know they went way beyond the expectations that I knew they could play. And I thought it was going to be a tight one, but they really did show out on last Saturday. But I'm a hush talking because we do have a guest this week, Toney, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Sure. Well, hey, everybody. We are so happy. We're so excited to have for the very first time on C&T Talking Tigers. I get to call her my coworker, but I also get to call her my good friend here, the one and only WSFA 12 sports anchor, also known as the GOAT in my book, the one and only Miss Hailey Sutton. What's up, Hailey? How you doing?
That was like the nicest introduction anyone's ever given me. Not the girl. Don't lose my ego now. Start talking.
Hey, well, yeah, you deserve it, Hailey. You deserve it. You really do hold it down. Hey, and you are everywhere. Is y'all would just understand. Last week when she was telling me about the game she had to go to, and I was like, man, that's some GOAT status right there. Ain't no way I would have threw in my towel. But we're so glad to have you on for our episode of CNT Talking Tigers. Me and Tony was just talking about the Ole Miss game from last week, which was a huge win for Auburn. So, the question we wanted to ask you first off is just so far from what we've seen from Auburn, what's this been your, opinion from so far what we've seen from the Tigers, from the start of the season to where they are right now?
Well, I can definitely say they're playing their best football right now, right? I think that's a general consensus is that they've finally kind of found their groove. I think the beginning of the season was a little bit of a toss-up. You and I talked a lot about that, but when you're playing, two teams in Akron and Alabama State, you can't really judge what your team looks like, right? And so I think Penn State was a really good opportunity for us to see what this Auburn team had the potential to do. They had a couple of skids. Obviously, the Georgia State game were a little bit less good to keep it light. But I think they're peaking at the right time. So I've been impressed with their ability to improve, and I think that at least from a coaching standpoint, I think that's where your coaches kind of evaluate what your team looks like is the amount you can improve. And so they're definitely a much improved team.
Awesome. And we just got the CFP rankings on yesterday. Auburn comes in 13th. Just from what we've seen so far, let me just ask you this: is that the right ranking to put them? Is it too high, too low, just right? What's your opinion for that?
I'm torn about it, right? Because the first week of the college football playoff rankings, I think are always a fluke. I think they're always to get the attention of everybody, just to kind of say, hey, here's where we're at in the season.
Look at us.
This is, where we're kind of evaluating teams as of right now, address it accordingly. So I think they kind of matched it up with the AP rankings. Strength of schedule, I think Auburn's done well. They've had a really tough schedule. So they definitely, I think, deserve to be ranked especially after those big two wins over Arkansas and Ole Miss. So I think they kind of fit wherever. I think if they were a little bit lower, I wouldn't be hurt about it, but I think 12 is a good spot.
Awesome. Hey, Tony, I'm gonna let you get in here and ask a question. I don't want to hog all the questions here.
I know, man. You're the voice of CNT. But yeah, man. I just want to think. What do you think of Coach Harsin so far through 8 games? What do you think of the coaching staff and the development of the players and everything going forward? What do you think? You think so far through 8 games of his first season, did Auburn make the right hire?
I think they did. I think Harsin is so starkly different from Malzahn in every facet of the game, not just coaching style, but from the way he runs the program. From the very minute he started, he set the standard of, we're going to be a program that is not only a talented football team, but we're going to be a conditioned team. We're going to be a disciplined team. You hear him every single week on the Zoom calls, especially when they have big road games. That's one of the things he talks about, is that we're going to be Auburn football from the time we step off the facility into wherever we go. So I think just overall, he's been a really good fit for Auburn. I think he kind of has almost a no-nonsense attitude about a lot of things, which can rub people the wrong way every now and then, but he gets the job done. I mean, when you look at a guy who dominated at Boise State, coming into the SEC, this is his first real taste of SEC football and taking it on every week. And to be 6-2, 3-1 in conference play, I don't think that's a bad spot to be in, for your first year. It's definitely impressive.
Yeah, I was telling Courtney before you got on that Harsin's checking off a lot of boxes for a first-year coach. You know what I mean? He went to LSU, got a win that nobody's gotten in 22 years. A top 10 win against
State game.
Yeah, the Penn State game. We was right there. We had every opportunity to win that game. The Ole Miss game, ranked 10th ranked Ole Miss came in, and a night game at Auburn, big atmosphere, everybody's looking. We won that game. We won it pretty convincingly. The Arkansas game, Auburn has a propensity to lose those games in the past. He came through and he won that one. So I've been on the Harsin train from the word go. I thought it was a great hire then, and I'm still loving it. What do you think about Bo? What do you think about the maturation of Bo Nix? Because Bo is a roller coaster of emotions for every Auburn fan.
Is he not? Bo, man, Bo to me is like that ex-boyfriend, right? The one who says all the right things at the right time, and he does what he needs to do at the right time, right? And then slips kind of through the cracks and coast, and then y'all have a bad week, and so you break up a little bit. You maybe put in TJ Finley. That's your rebound. TJ checks the boxes, but here comes Bo, and he does all the things he's supposed to do again. And now
with the roses,
now you're back in your happy relationship with Bo. So I can definitely relate to that. But I think overall, I think Bo, it's so hard because I think his bad games are judged more than his good games. So when you hear people talking about Bo, you don't hear them talking about all the good things that he's done. You don't hear necessarily as much. People more harp on the fact of the games that he necessarily isn't getting the job done, as opposed to saying, oh, like he went into LSU and, like you said, picked up a win.
To be fair, though, his good games are few and far between.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And when we really need him to have a good game, it doesn't even perfect example. The LSU game, he played horribly. In big moments, he made plays that we had to have. But outside of running, people forget. Yeah, he ran around, he threw a touchdown, but you got to forget, it was fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
He had to make numerous on fourth down to get us out of bad predicaments that he might have got us into. My whole thing with Bo is his first 2 years, you really got to give him a pass because of the coaching. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He really didn't get a lot of help as far as coaching. And you can actually see week to week from the Penn State game moving forward, because, Alabama State, Akron, he looked phenomenal, which he should have.
My dogs would have looked phenomenal.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So
we could have went out there and looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
But as the weeks progress, Bo has been incrementally getting better. And I think it's simply because Mike Bobo and the coaches have helped Bo, which he didn't get a lot of help before. They've helped Bo by taking a lot of pressure off of Bo, and now we're running the ball at a higher clip than we're throwing the ball. The same way with my favorite team on Sundays, the Dallas Cowboys. People go crazy.
Hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. Am I right?
I don't want to talk that shit. I don't want to talk about it. Hey, but look, it's the same way. When Dak's throwing the ball 45, 50 times a game, we're losing. But when you take the pressure off of the quarterback and you put the ball in the hands of your running back and you run behind your offensive line and you run the ball more than you throw it. Since that perfect stat. Since Dak Prescott has been the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, they are 28-0 when they run the ball more than they throw it.
Yeah.
That's a stat.
Undefeated.
Right, America's team.
Undefeated. 28-0 when we run it more than we throw it. And since that LSU game, when we have run it more than we have thrown it, we have won every game. And Bo has looked way better than at any point than he did when he was throwing it 45, 50, 52 times a game. Mm-hmm. Keeping him between that 25 to 32 range, but then running it between that 35 and 40 range is a recipe for success for everybody, including your quarterback.
I agree. You said it perfect. I feel like we're going to be good friends at this point.
Once you talk that cowboy talk, we good. We good.
Hey.
But go ahead, Courtney.
I was just I agree with both of y'all. Hey, Bo's been on the roller coaster, but he's been consistent right now. I think Bobo is really, he's had offensive coordinators, but I don't think he's had a consistent offensive coordinator. And with Mike Bobo, I think that's somebody that's consistent, that can pull him to the side and be like, all right, you did this right. But when you do something bad, he in your butt. Like, so
see the problem,
right? And I think that's important. It's important for your quarterback to be held accountable.
Right.
But see, the problem, Courtney, we've had offensive coordinators, but they was all running the same exact thing. No matter who was the coordinator, it was still Gus's offense that we was running. You know what I mean? And Gus still had his hands in the fire. Like, you couldn't tell Chad Morris' imprint was on that offense because it still looked like Gus. I really thought Chad Morris was gonna make Gus's career. I thought if he came in and he took his hands off of Chad Morris and let Chad Morris just implement his offense and run his offense, I thought it would have been great for Bo and it would have been great for Gus. But because Gus couldn't get out of his own way and he stayed in his quarterback's way, now he's at UCF and now we're reaping the benefits of a proper head coach with proper quarterback coaches. And Bo is getting significantly better every week. Hey, the man still got a whole nother year to go. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be mad if Bo keeps on this track right here and finishes the season as he's going strong, 68, 70% completions every week, running 2 or 3 touchdowns in, throwing for a couple of touchdowns, not turning the ball over. Man, that's gonna be one of your top 5 Heisman favorites coming back next year.
You said you put him in the conversation already, Tony?
If Bo come back next year, which he's gonna come back, he's not leaving. And if he continues to play the way he's played from Arkansas forward, Bo Nix will be in the hunt for the Heisman Trophy next year. He will be one of the leaders moving forward for the Heisman Trophy next year. I'll say that.
Ooh, that's Bo. You heard it here first, folks.
I can't wait to talk to you.
Arkansas. Look at his numbers against Arkansas. Look at his numbers against Ole Miss. If he can duplicate that the rest of the season, Bo Nix is coming back top 5 Heisman candidate next season. You heard it here first.
Hey, you said it first. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna
stand beside him.
I said it.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to what else we got coming up. He got a quarterback battle next year, Demetrius Davis. I wouldn't sleep on him.
I wouldn't even sleep on TJ, to be honest. I mean,
TJ done. TJ done, baby. It's over with TJ. It's over.
You think so?
He done. Let me tell you something. When he had his chance, when they put him in the LSU game, and he was scared and all out, he was scared as hell.
He didn't like it in the head. Nice.
He was standing over there on the sideline. And I'll never forget, my mama looked at. My mama said, "What's wrong with that boy? He looks so scared, like he about to cry."
I think that's just his face.
She said, "That boy from LSU must call and say something to him because he look like he don't want to do nothing." That was his chance. He had his chance. It's over. It's either Bo or Demetrius. Ain't no in between. TJ might well gonna hit. He gonna hit the Porter if he want to.
Porter 2 times. Porter 2 times.
He might well gonna hit that Porter. He might well hit that Porter if he want to. Cause if both finish this season out strong, boy, ain't no way. Ain't no way they're gonna turn their back on Bodine. I don't care how good the
be tough.
He's gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to wait.
It's gonna be tough. Well, hey, let's get into talking about this Texas A&M game. Tony, I'm gonna hand this one off to you because we got another guest coming on. I'm gonna let you and Hailey first off discuss this Texas A&M game and give y'all predictions. Right. And then, of course, we have our very other special guest that's coming on. So I'm gonna let y'all handle it, and I'm gonna go holler at this other special guest they got. So, Tony, take it away.
All right, man. We got A&M coming up. Hailey, A&M is coming on strong here lately. They're 6-2 as well.
They are.
Yeah, they lost. They had a little slippage. They started the season out hot, beating a bunch of nobodies. Kent State, Colorado, New Mexico. They were 3-0. They feeling good, pumping their chest. And then they get the big game against Arkansas. Their quarterback got hurt. They lose that. Come back to Mississippi State. They lose. So now everybody is poo-pooing on them. Everybody got them down in the dumps. And then boom, they came back. And Jimbo, being Jimbo, the hell of a coach that he is,
he did it.
He got his roots from Auburn. Let's not forget he got Auburn roots. Jimbo's got Auburn roots. And Jimbo came back, flipped the switch, and got on Nick's ass, beat Saban. They turned around and they beat down Missouri and they beat down South Carolina. So now they're sitting at 6-2. A&M is a pretty solid team. They have athletes galore, man. They got athletes. They got some pros on the offensive line. what's the guy now? What's the running back? CJ Spiller. No, Isaiah Spiller. CJ Spiller played
Isaiah
for
Spiller.
Yeah, CJ played for Clemson. Isaiah Spiller and Devon Chaney. Those two boys run that ball, man. I think Spiller's got like 760 yards. The backup's got 600 yards. Both of them 5 touchdowns. It's a solid team. They got a couple of great tight ends, which is scary for Auburn because Smoke Monday cannot cover a bed with a blanket. You know what I mean?
Lord have mercy, not a bed with a blanket.
Yeah, Smoke Monday is awful in coverage. He is great around the line of scrimmage. He's probably gonna have to move down to as an outside linebacker or something in next level because him on that back end it just irks my freaking nerves. I go back to the Penn State game. He's just letting people run down the middle of the field wide open. Smoke Monday makes me sick in pass coverage. I mean, Jesus Christ. But like I said, they got two good tight ends, man. They got a couple of nice receivers. They got a running game. That quarterback, who was that backup, turned out to be a starter.
He's not so bad.
He's not bad. He's kind of hot and cold. We can get these boys. I mean, they brought back a lot of talent. I think Jimbo returned like 17 starters, 9 on defense. But hey, we did too. And the 9 on defense is showing up. They're only giving up about 16 points a game. They got Tyrese. I think his name's Tyrese Johnson. He's the leading sack. Tyrese Johnson. Yeah, he's got about 6 sacks. And then the Marvin Leal, who's going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. He's right there behind him with 5.5 sacks. They got multiple guys who turn the ball over in the secondary. A lot of guys with picks. So they're an active unit. But I mean, they can be had. They can be had. They get after the quarterback a little bit, so our offensive line is gonna have to play. I know they sacked Bama 4 times, but they give up sacks too, and that's good for us because we have guys that can get to the quarterback. I mean, just about every game they played, they were sacked at least 3-4 times, just about. So getting to the quarterback shouldn't be a problem. Auburn's gonna have their hands full, but as I've been saying all year, don't know how many episodes you watched. If your offensive line and Bo Nix play well, we will win.
I think that's the key to every single Auburn game because when you look at Auburn's schedule, the games that Bo has played well, they win. The games that Bo has played poorly, they don't win, or they almost lose, right? So that's the key to every game for Auburn.
And the offensive line too. I can't let you take the offensive line off the hook. They right there with him because a lot of times he's running for his life and making bad decisions because people are bearing down on him, but they go hand in hand. Him and that offensive line go hand in hand. I'm with you on that, Hailey.
Here's the conversation that I had with Courtney a couple of weeks ago, which, to be fair, Auburn has exceeded my expectations in these 2 weeks. I didn't know if they'd beat Ole Miss. I didn't know if they'd beat Arkansas. So the fact that they beat both, I think that that's really great, right? But I don't know if you've ever been to College Station. I don't know if you've ever been to Kyle Field. I don't know if you know anything about it. It's a very difficult place to play in, right? And when you look at the situation, right, on paper, this should be Auburn's game to win. On paper, it should. But when you factor in absolutely everything that goes into playing a game at Kyle Field, it's not just the fact that the fans are rowdy. It's not just that it's home field advantage. It's kind of everything that field stands for. You're looking at a team, like you said, that I think I was the only person in the world that Alabama was upset by Texas A&M, right? Because everyone's like, oh my gosh, like Alabama lost to this unranked team. But what people failed to realize was Texas A&M wasn't a bad program. It's not like Texas A&M almost lost to Georgia State, right? Alabama almost lost to Georgia State. They lost to a team who lost to then ranked 16 Arkansas. They lost to Mississippi State, a team who's now upset 3 ranked opponents this season.
Who is ranked 7 and who's now ranked 17th in the nation.
So it's not like this Texas A&M versus Alabama game. It wasn't like it was a David versus Goliath, so to speak. It was 2 very good teams. If you listen to Saban's press conference that week, he said, this is going to be our most challenging game of the season. Word for word. He said that. So you factor all that with Alabama, and now you're looking at this Auburn team that has been, we talked about it, right? A roller coaster, not just because of Bo, but just in general. There's been games where the receivers aren't catching balls. There's been games when the run game, when you give Tank the ball or Jarquez the ball, it just wasn't there. So we can't put it all on Bo. I'm not 100% confident that Auburn's going to come out with a win this weekend. I'm not. I think it's going to be a very challenging game. You look at the history. I will say I did not know that Auburn has never lost at Kyle Field. So that's a good stat to have going into it.
The road team always wins. The road team always wins. I don't know how. I don't know why. But we played these boys last year, and guess what? They won at Auburn.
Yeah.
We played them the year before at A&M. Guess what? We won. The year before at Auburn, guess what? They won. It never fails. Since they've been in the SEC, I really think we've actually rotated. They win every year. We just rotate. If you beat us at home, we'll come beat you at home. So if history repeats itself, Auburn's going to win the game because the road team always wins. But on paper, this is pretty much about as even of a matchup as Auburn has played all season. They're right there. They've got just about everything we've got. If we can block their defensive line, because they got a very active defensive line and they got two real good ones with Johnson and Leo. If our offensive line can do their job, if Bo Nix cannot turn the ball over and be productive and efficient with the ball, and if we can run the ball, I don't see why we can't win. But we have to go down there and play sound fundamental football. Can't turn it over. Can't let them just go up and down the field as they want to. So with all that being said, it's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be an easy game. I'm like you. I'm not 100% banging on the table. Auburn's going to win. I think Auburn's going to win. I feel Auburn's going to win. Before the season, I predicted Auburn to win this game based off the fact the road team always wins. Yeah. So I'm counting on that. I'm counting on Harsin to have already been to Happy Valley. Harson's been to Baton Rouge. Harden's been to Fayetteville. Now he's going to Kyle Field. So he's been to 3 tough places to play. Came out 2-1 in those tough places. Both 2 of them were SEC contests. So I'm looking for Auburn to come out on top. I'm going to say 24-21 Auburn. That's what I think. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think 24-21, 24-20, somewhere up in there. So I think that's it. I think that's it right there. Well, what you think, Hailey?
That's actually my score prediction, but just the opposite way. I think that Auburn looks great, but I just feel that it really all just depends on Bo. I mean, we talked about this the whole time, and I just don't feel 100% confident in his ability to necessarily go in and play. I mean, because like when you look at the schedule, right? Again, played 2 soft teams to begin with, and then he went to Penn State and he played bad.
Didn't play great. Yeah, that was not a good game. That was not a good game.
And you come back and you play at Georgia
State got pulled
bad. So I mean, if we're looking at patterns here, really like this is Bo's time to play bad if we're looking at the schedule. And so I just think with a Texas A&M team that has had the momentum that they had, because they didn't just beat South Carolina and Missouri. Like I think they beat them pretty handedly, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is not a soft team by any stretch. They jumped up to number 13 pretty quickly for a reason, because I think that they're getting the respect that they should have had, throughout the whole season. So I just think that when you've got the home crowd, you've got the big win over Bama. I think that's a difference maker in years past too. I don't think Texas A&M has beaten Bama much. I think maybe 4 times in their whole series. So when you got that momentum on you got all that. I just think Texas A&M comes out on top on this one. I think it's going to be really challenging. I think it's going to be similar to the Penn State game where they just don't meet the expectations, maybe. I'm sorry. I can physically see that hurts you to hear.
Look, Hailey, my boy Bo's arrow is pointing up.
It's going like
Arkansas. He went to Arkansas, had a great game. Come back against Ole Miss, another solid performance. I think that the way the offense is being called, not trying to change you out of your opinion, but I just think the way the offense is being called, and the way that the game plan is being laid out, it's helping Bo a lot, and we're not putting too much on his shoulders and making him the whole solid reason of if we win or lose, just put it on Bo. So as long as we can continue that, as long as we can run that ball more than we throw it and keep it balanced, I think we'll win. I can't wait to hit you with the haha, you're wrong.
Neither can Courtney. But again, so to be fair, like the reason why this has been such a hot topic was because a couple of weeks ago, I was pretty adamant in saying that Auburn stood no chance. I didn't believe it. This was on the week before their bye week, I think, or maybe this was the week of their bye week. We were all standing in the newsroom talking. And I mean, 3 weeks ago, there was no way this Auburn team could go into Kyle Field and pick up a win. So I always am a lady of my word. I have that my needle is not so vehemently that Auburn's going to lose. I still think they lose, but I think it's going to be a better game than what I initially thought 3 weeks ago. I just think Texas A&M is going to be a little bit better. I do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. They're a well-coached program. Jimbo is one of my favorite coaches of all time. It's a tough place to play.
Very.
They have a great running game. They got good tight ends. They have defensive linemen. I don't know. You're gonna see. This is gonna be interesting. I'm pulling for my boys. I believe in them. I think they can get the job done. I believe we're gonna get the job done. And I'm just hoping that home team, road team thing holds up well for me. And I'm gonna hold fast to that.
Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Like for my work's sake, for the beautiful people of Alabama.
Let me ask you this. So where are you from, Hailey?
Dallas. Duh, go Cowboys.
I ain't from Dallas, but I like Cowboys. Okay, so you're from Dallas. So who's your college football team?
To be honest, I didn't go to schools with big college programs. I went to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. We didn't have a football team. And then when I got my master's, I went to UNT and our football team was terrible. So I don't really have an allegiance necessarily to a college football team. It sounds so stupid and cliche, but I kind of like a variety of teams. I like keeping up with a bunch. So I don't really have That's cool.
That's cool.
If I had to pick, if I had to, I would say Texas, just because growing up, that's who we cheered for. But I mean, like, it doesn't hurt my heart when they lose. Like, I'm not so.
Oh, yeah, you're not a really Texas.
Die hard. Yeah. Like, if I had to pick a team, it would be UT. So that just goes to show you like how much respect I have in this Texas A&M team. But I don't really.
Yeah, we'll be doing this year pretty soon because they're gonna come and do the SEC and lose even more than they're losing now in the Big 12.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. That was fundamentally the worst thing that Texas could do, but they won.
Yep, and Oklahoma's going to lose just as much too. I don't know what they think. I don't know who they think they are, but they're going to come down here and get beat just as bad as everybody else.
Solid 6th place finish.
I'm telling you, buddy. I'm telling you.
Well, our special guest is here with us, and we're going to bring him on. Coming back once to us for one more time. He made his first appearance for the preview of the LSU game, all the way from Auburn, Alabama, the Auburn Tigers Baptist AME Church of God in Christ Fellowship Church, the one and only, the Reverend A.U. Eagle. Woo!
There he is. Real, before you get started,
I'm an Auburn fan.
I'm happy to see you.
Woo! I'm an Auburn fan. Woo! Hallelujah. Y'all see,
what in the world?
Y'all see, I got some hair. I'm gonna take off this cap so y'all can see the full. Last time I was here, Brother Toney, I didn't have no hair. But since Auburn started winning, woo! God then birthed me some hair.
Like miracle growth. Oh, it's shot up in his bones. Hey, do you see this?
I don't know what to think of this. I am so overwhelmed.
Woo! It's so good to be back with the Saints here on CNT talking Tigers.
Real, I got a little emergency. I gotta go, but it's good to see you. You and Hailey and Courtney, y'all finish up the show strong. I'll be back again next week. I gotta go get my son. He's running the
Don't
fever
leave
at
me with this
daycare.
crazy name.
Oh yeah, hey, I gotta leave you and the Rev and Courtney. Y'all gonna hold the show down for me.
You gonna be all right, Sister Hailey?
You gonna be all right.
You gonna be all right?
C&T family. I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Hailey, see you again. Rev, take it easy. Say a prayer for me. And you take these old Aggies down through there for me, Rev.
Bless you, Brother Toney. Bless you.
Yes, sir.
Bless you.
Hey, as always, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. I'm gonna leave it to the Rev and Courtney and Hailey. Hold it down, C&T. I'll see y'all next time.
Bless you, sir. Bless you. Well, you know, Sister Hailey, brother Courtney told me that he taking a break. So he gonna let me co-host the rest of the show along with your lovely stuff. I catch you every Sunday and on the weekends. You know, I enjoy you. You do an excellent job there at WSFA. You're doing a wonderful job. But let me tell you something. I was listening in the Orange Room here at the headquarters for C&T. I was listening, and I heard that you said Auburn was going to lose this weekend. Now come to the congregation and explain your reasoning, Sister Hailey, of why the Tigers will lose. I need you to explain to my congregation. Talk to us.
I mean, I just kind of explained it to Toney a little bit. I just think that on paper, these two teams they're very evenly matched. I think that Texas A&M has been a little bit more consistent in games this year. I think they had a skid, just like Auburn had a skid. I think Kyle Field is an extremely difficult place to play in, and I know that Auburn has had success there in the past. But to be fair, I don't think that they've played a Texas A&M team like this 2021 team. So I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I know we talked a few weeks ago, but Auburn has swayed me a little bit. And I just think it's a close one, but I think Texas A&M uses the home field advantage and gets this one. I do.
Well, like my friend who used to be a member, but he went on to do greater heights. My friend and brother Lee Corso say, not so fast, Sister Hailey. Not so fast. Now see here. I have a prediction too. And as I was in church, I would have a message, and the message title would be, "This is a war." You know, because I agree with you on this point now. You right, the Tigers, they hadn't seen a team like this. They hadn't been, experienced something like this. Now we saw Penn State. We saw, Georgia, but we hadn't been to Texas. We hadn't been down there this season. But let me bring some good points to you now. This team has been battle tested. They've been to 10 State. They went to Happy Valley. It wasn't so happy for them.
And they lost.
No.
Not only did they lose, but they played pretty bad.
Let me finish.
So by battle tested, they were tested.
They were. Yeah.
They failed the test and they lost the battle.
We failed that one. We did. But that's okay. Cause we went right on back to Baton Rouge. We ain't beat them in 22 years.
You beat 22. An LSU team that is also not great. So to be fair.
But Sister Hailey, a win is a win.
A win is a win, and I hear you. But it's not like Auburn went to LSU and beat the 2019 national champions. They went to LSU and beat a team who I believe had a losing record at the time. So we can't compare apples to apples because they did, but we got to make sure
SEC team.
It is an SEC team, but so is all these other teams that they played. So.
Hey, it's the SEC team, and I Brother Toney didn't tell you, but I predicted that game. I said the Eagles would soar at night. It was a late game. I had to stay up late.
I would have hoped that Auburn beat that LSU team, whether it was at home or away. They're a bad LSU team.
It was a beautiful game. And I'm
It
so
wasn't a
proud.
beautiful game. It was a last second drive, but it won. So it wasn't even a
it was
quality
up in our church. We celebrated that because we felt it was a beautiful game.
We celebrate all the wins, and
All
I'll
the
give it to
wins.
Auburn. That's a hard one. That's a hard place to go and play. But if we're going to
Yeah.
brag about the wins that we're getting on the road, we've got to evaluate how we got those wins. Do you think, Reverend, if I may, do you think that if the roles were reversed and this Auburn team played LSU last year or the year before at LSU, would they have won?
I don't know now. No.
That's what I'm saying. So it's cool that they went. It's cool that they went to LSU and won at LSU, but they beat an LSU team that, for lack of better terms, is piss poor.
All right now. Okay.
No, they're not. LSU is bad this year. They're bad. So that should have been a win for Auburn.
Sister Hailey, normally I would, go back and frame, but you know a little bit what you're talking about. So I ain't gonna cut up. I ain't gonna cut up today. You know a little bit. You know a little something. I ain't gonna cut up. But let's get to the game at hand. Yes, I do believe that they're gonna win against Texas A&M, and I think that they prepared. They've seen some tough games, and I think they're ready. They're ready to go in College Station. Number two reason, that I think that this game is gonna come to a win for our dear beloved Auburn Tigers is we looking good right now. Sister Hailey, we on the upward trajectory. I heard Brother Toney talk about Brother Bo. Brother Bo, when he got benched, he came to the church. I laid hands on him and he got delivered. He finally got delivered. Now that Georgia game, he had to come back.
He must have missed the delivery.
Yeah, he missed the delivery. I had to deliver him once again at the Georgia game, but nevertheless, he has been delivered, and he ain't looking like Boo, but he looking like Bo. So praise God for Brother Bro, and this team is looking good. But the third reason why, or one of the reasons is y'all was just talking about it. The whole team don't never win. It's like the away team is always making that's their home. We saw it last year with Texas A&M, and we just keep seeing it. So I think I believe that they gonna win. And my final reason, and this here, you can take it how you want to, but when you look at Texas A&M, all these players on these teams, they have unique names. Texas A&M, they players, they got some. These players, these superstar players, they got some names. You got a quarterback named Calzone. I don't know what's his name, Calzone. I don't know if I'm thinking about pizza or what. You got a boy named Watermaker. What?
Are we're really going to talk about names when Auburn has a Tank Bigsby and Smoke Monday on the roster? That's what we're going to do. We're going to compare crazy names.
Well, hey now.
Auburn's got a Darius Knighton.
Hey now. Now them names.
They one syllable.
Smoke and Tank. Not Watermaker and Calzone and all that. No. That's one syllable now. Them that's one syllable name, but anyway, we ain't gonna mess on the names too much. But I think that they gonna win this game 27-24. It's gonna come down, I think, to the kick, to a final kick. And they got a good kick on their squad too now. So we gotta be careful. But we sure do got one on ours. So I'm gonna give Auburn 27-24. The Auburn Tigers will go into Texas A&M and handle business. And we don't want to look ahead, but hey, it could be looking good after this game. And when you get on the news the next day, tell the folks that the good Reverend predicted this win for all the folks that watch on Sunday. Let them know that the Reverend, the Reverend A.U. Eagle predicted that Auburn will go into Texas A&M and they will win. Ha! Ooh, I felt the spirit just saying it. Ooh, hey.
Certainly a little little bit there. Listen,
Woo!
I have never wanted to be more wrong about a game. I want Auburn to win, right? I want them. Auburn's one of my favorite teams. I'm not supposed to say that out loud, but Auburn's one of my favorite teams.
Yeah.
I think they deserve it, right?
Yes.
However, when you look at it on paper, when you look at it statistically, when you look at it analytically, I just think it's going to be close. I think I said 24-21 Texas A&M, so I agree it's going to come down to the kick. But I just think when you look at everything that's going to go into this one, I think the domino is going to be Texas A&M comes out on top. But I hope I'm wrong. I have said that 4 times. I hope I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, I'm a lady of my word. I'll own up to it and I'll say, hey, I thought this was going to go one way and it went the opposite way. So good for the Tigers, right? There's no lose-lose. This is a win-win situation, right? Because if Auburn wins and I'm wrong, that's what we want, right? We want Auburn to win. And
yeah.
if Auburn loses, then I'm right. So it's a win-win either way. So
I guess it's a win-win for you, but for me, I got to go to a congregation and it ain't gonna look too good as we lose now.
It's not. But you can ask your good friend Courtney how many times I've been wrong this season. You can ask him and see what he said. How often I've been wrong.
I'm gonna talk to brother Courtney. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna check in with him. But yes, we on behalf of brother Courtney, we just want to thank you so much. You have just brought so much grace and love and peace and beauty to this show. Them two there, keep them in your prayers because they sometimes get a little out of hand. But you have just been so wonderful, and on behalf of us, at the church there in Auburn, and me being a guest, and all the folks here that watch the show, we want to just say thank you, Sister Hailey. We wish nothing but success on you. We wish nothing but success. And for those who are watching, you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe. CNT Talking Tigers on YouTube and also on the social media networks. Instagram, Twitter, CT Talking Tigers. Until then, we want you to be blessed. We want you to love Auburn, and we want you to say one good time. Whoa! Eagle! Hey! Whoa! Hey, God bless you. Love y'all. Thank you. Amen. Amen.